this is a big moment for me too. You know, like 2 years ago, Marcus and I started the show, and we're like, let's just buy some microphones and talk about the shit that we bitch about.
Right.
With no real idea if anybody cared or was going to listen, or maybe we were totally off base, totally off track, or imposters. Who am I to? And you were one of the first people that followed the show, commented on YouTube, things like that, and then joined the Patreon, therefore the Discord. And to go from me being a new inventor, not knowing if an invention was going to work, to then starting a podcast, not knowing if I should be talking about this stuff, to having somebody here who's doing 6, 7, 8 grand in revenue in the last 30 days. It's a big moment for me too. Like, candidly, you're the person who's taken our instruction the most seriously and diligently and followed the steps kind of to the T and exceeded them in a lot of realms that I've been really impressed with. So that kind of made me sit back in my chair a little bit and be like, maybe I should take this show a little bit more seriously. You know, maybe I should give it a little bit more dignity. Maybe I should consider a lot more back-end support, you know, webinars, monthlies for all of us to get together, because listening is one thing, but like interacting is a whole other thing. And if we can create interaction and an ecosystem where more inventors are getting to where you're getting, and we're meeting inventors where we want to be, you know, we could really create something cool. And that kind of has me excited. So it's a big show for me and you, you know. That's why I was thinking about it so much, and that's maybe even why I got a little bit landlocked in my mind about how to title this episode, because it's so damn important for so many reasons. And I want to uplift you, your product, the work you've done. I want to uplift the show, you know, what Marcus and I set out to do. I want to understand what to do from here moving forward to best help people. So, yeah, that being said, episode 63, this is probably one that I'm more excited and nervous about than the last 30 or 40. Those are just kind of a process.
Oh, sure.
To get to the point where now we have one of our videos. It's at like almost 4,100 views.
I saw that one. Yeah.
That all happened in the last 2 months. So YouTube is picking up that we're laying down decent information. We're finding our audience. Now might be the time to really like put the pedal to the metal.
Right.
So I'm not saying this episode is a door or a wall, but it is a big opportunity, and I don't want to squander it, because this is going to define kind of 2026, the show and the process and courses, whatever we end up doing. So, yeah, without further ado, we basically just started the show. Hey guys, and welcome to the Invent With Me podcast, where each week we guide aspiring inventors and product creators to turn their innovative ideas into reality. I'm your host, Grant, inventor of Torque Strap, a killer new spring-loaded cargo strap, a strap so easy to use, you just pull. And very, very special guest with me today, over there on the other side of this long-ass table, Mr. Eddie, inventor of the WrapRabbit. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here.
Well, thank you for being here. And to save myself some breath, what I'll do is just play what you and I just talked about in post-production.
Okay.
And why I'm so excited you're here and why this is so important. But I do want any new listeners to know that today we're going to uncover the clear path to bringing a invention to a successful spot. Whether you just want to replace your income, maybe you just are a person out there in your garage and you're thinking, man, if I could just make 60 grand a year, I could quit my day job. I could have some more spare time to hustle and do some other things or keep inventing. Or maybe you want to double your income. Maybe you want to create a multi-million-dollar company. Well, what I can tell you is it starts with what Eddie has just proven, and that is a simple idea can work. And it really, like, your idea started very simply, right? You mentioned to me the other day that you originally had an idea to wrap up chords better, and you just wanted to give the idea away, right?
I did.
Can you tell me more about WrapRabbit and that particular story, please?
So wrapping up cables is so frustrating for not just me, but a lot of people. Some people are really, really good at it because they've been doing it for 40 years. And I kind of think that's like Stockholm syndrome when they don't want to.
Like XLR cables, right?
Oh,
like
XLR
audio
cables, guitar cables.
I think a lot of people have tried to help. And like, I can wrap up an extension cord. Let me help you clean up set. And that doesn't go over too well.
Yeah, they're all knotted up later. Yeah,
exactly.
It's awful. And not only that, but you have to spend hours resoldering the cable ends sometimes. So
that's not good.
No.
So when did you say like enough was enough with that problem?
This was years ago, 2023. I had the idea and it just stuck with me. And then finally, after weeks of just thinking about it constantly, I went to the dollar store, bought a bunch of things. I bought like $30 worth of stuff at the dollar store, thinking to make something. And I thought, this is crazy. Why am I spending this much money at the dollar store? And I made the first prototype out of plates and bowls. And
that's sick.
And it still works. You know, it's like, it works exactly like the production model, just not very pretty.
What was the goal? What did you want the prototype to do? We know wrap up the cord, but wrap it up.
Wrap it up in a way that when you have to deal with the cord on a daily basis or weekly basis at gigs, when you've got 30 of these cords, if you get one tangled, that's like, it's minutes untangling that cable. And then if you got 30 of them and you get 3 of them tangled, I've got 30 minutes to 60 minutes to set up for a gig. And if I have to spend 5 of those minutes untangling cords, I'm done.
Right.
So it really alleviated a lot of frustration, a lot of time, a lot of I don't have to think about cords anymore.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And I just know that when I get a cord, some of them I keep in here, some of them I take out. I just put them in here, spin it up, done. I don't have to think about it. And then the bonus is that when you're getting ready for the next gig, it's already ready to go again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, never gets tangled. And it's funny because I've been using these for 3 years now, and I kind of forgot about how frustrated and angry I was at these cables.
Yeah. It's the same with me when I pick up a ratchet strap.
Yeah.
Or I hand one to somebody. It's almost like you really just forget about, and that kind of makes you just set back and say, man, there's a lot of potential for everyone to be feeling this way. I want everybody in the United States to be at a point where they, like us, we forget about horses and buggies. I want people to forget about wrapping up cable in a shitty manner.
Yeah.
And that tells you how much market work there is to do and how much potential there is.
Well, that goes back to what you were asking before about I wanted to give it away. I was so excited about how awesome it was. I made 3D prototypes as well. I think these are your old ones. I got new ones for you. And they worked so well that I was like, everybody has to have this. So I thought I would just give away the files on it. And then I thought, well, if I give away the files, like maybe 5 people will make it. It won't help anybody.
No.
And then I think it was around that time, people were saying, hey, did you patent it? Hey, are you going to license it? I'm like, and I went down that path, looking at that stuff. And that's when I found your podcast. After I read that book from that guy about the patenting thing, it just seemed like snake oil, like right off the bat.
You felt a little greasy afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
And then you and Marcus were so real about it, very authentic, and it just vibed with me immediately. And I watched like all your podcasts, I think, and then I emailed you at some point. You were talking about going to China and dealing with people in China, and I had told you that I was looking for a manufacturer in the United States.
Yeah.
And had a very similar experience that you did. They didn't want to bother with me.
Yeah.
And they gave me crazy quotes, like ridiculous, like at least about 10 times what I'm paying.
Yeah.
So, and then I talked to one, and he said, sure, I can injection mold that for you. And I get all my molds from China. And I said, wait, you get your molds from China. Why don't I just get my mold from China?
Right.
I don't have tons of money to do this.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Well, I mean, people don't get it. They think they might say, yeah, I'll spend 2 or 3 times more to manufacture in the USA. Or it was hilarious. I was watching a politician talking about, I think it was Carolyn Levitt doing one of those White House press conferences. If you have to, like this holiday season, you should be buying dolls we want dolls manufactured in the USA. So what if it's $1 or $2 more? You need to, bro,
Yeah.
$1 or $2 more? No. A $3 doll turns into a $19 doll like that.
Exactly.
So people really underestimate how severe the price gap is.
They have no idea until they start looking at it. I had no idea.
No.
I was extremely naive when I started this.
Weren't we all?
Yeah. I mean, actually, every step of the process, I was like, I'll just do a Kickstarter, sure.
Yeah.
I had no idea how much work it was.
But you also had no idea how much value there was, right?
Well, you know what's funny is after the Kickstarter, I said to myself, I was like, I'm never going to do another Kickstarter because I didn't think it was worth it. And then after you had a short, it was an episode on SEO, and you were talking about how Kickstarters would be the first thing that people find. Sure enough, I Google WrapRabbit, and Kickstarter is the very first thing.
Yeah.
That's the first thing everybody sees when they Google WrapRabbit. And so the benefit is way more than what it was.
Yeah.
Initially.
Yeah.
Or what I thought it was. Yeah.
Right. And I didn't really think about that until I had Googled my own name after like a year or two of business. And I realized that Kickstarter and the subsequent publications that like to write stories about new inventions, even though they're small, it's SEO nonetheless. But I think that's a testament to the fact that you've been following these steps. So to, stroke my own ego, pat myself on the back, I think what's really important here is that we convey that if you do just listen to the show for free and take the steps and notes seriously, you can really get somewhere. But you kind of elevated it because you paid for consulting with me. Candidly, it's very cheap consulting. I think you would agree. You've certainly got your money's worth out of that.
Oh, yeah, definitely, 100%.
And what was so important about that is you would come to me with issues that maybe I had talked about in a show, but my opinion had changed since then because things changed rapidly. So what I want to ask you is, how do I want to phrase this without asking you how awesome the show was? How awesome was the show for you?
Everything kind of lined up exactly for me. I mean, your show came exactly when I needed it, and every step of the way, it was a guidebook. And I honestly, I could not have done this without your podcast and without your help specifically, because it's such a scary endeavor. You're the first thing you think is, oh, someone's going to steal my idea. So you're scared about that. Mm-hmm. Then you're scared about, just giving China your money.
Yeah.
Where is it? Are you ever going to get it back?
Right.
And then you're scared about, am I going to sell these things? You're scared about all the platforms like Kickstarter, Amazon, Facebook, all the ads and things. And you showed that there's really nothing to be afraid of, and you should just. So I just did exactly what you did and what you told your audience to do. And I took tons of notes, and I don't think I ventured much far. I don't think I ventured very far from what you actually did or recommended.
No, and like I said, you exceeded on a lot of the steps. I remember talking to you and being like, man, you kind of went Bed Bath and Beyond, and that's awesome. Like, you really deep researched a lot of the stuff that we planted a lot of seeds, and you really took it to the next level, which was really admirable. And I think that's why when you launched your product, you found that, like, oh my God, it's been like a couple weeks and I've got $3,300 in sales, right? That was amazing to hear.
Oh, it was crazy. I was, my wife said I was giddy for the first week. Yeah. I was just giddy.
Yeah.
And it was It was I think in the Discord, I wrote I wrote a post that said that I was just extremely thankful for everybody's help, and it's been a wild ride of shipping and sending stuff out, because it was 3 years to get to that point. Right. And when it actually finally happened, it was so exciting.
So let me ask you this. How long is the process knowing what you know now? Not necessarily because, for me, it was a really long time. For you, it was probably a really long time. But if you were talking to a new inventor and they were really willing to do the work, how long of a process is it to get your invention to market?
However they think long it takes, it's at least 10 times that.
Why?
At least.
How?
And I'll tell you, because the prototype process is, well, in my case, I had to have it perfect. And that's not like an ego thing or anything. It's just my product had to solve several problems, and it had to do them exactly the right way. Otherwise, it would be unusable. If this did not spin properly, if it couldn't hold the cable, if the cable could be damaged by it, then it wouldn't work. So the prototyping process for me took minimum a year. I printed out dozens of iterations, and finally I got one that actually worked really well, and that's when I started the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter was great, except I didn't have a workable design for manufacturing prototype. As soon as I had money from the Kickstarter to put toward the mold, I thought, that's great. I'm just going to send my STL files to China. They're going to make my WrapRabbits, and everything's going to be fine. But they came back saying, we can't make this. You have all these undercuts, all this, everything is wrong for injection molding. So I had to redesign it from the ground up. Their engineer, thankfully, highlighted every single problem that was wrong with it. But it took several months of redesigns and sending it back to China, waiting for China's engineer to look at it, tell me again it's wrong. And then the back and forth until I could finally get it made took about 6 months.
Okay, yeah.
And then actually when I finally pulled the trigger and I said, hey, make this, they sent me samples, and then the samples didn't work. They didn't spin. And as I said before, it's got to spin. If it doesn't spin, then it's useless.
It's not a WrapRabbit at that point.
Exactly.
It's just a rabbit.
Yeah. So it was 3 times they sent samples to me. And finally, at a certain point, I wasn't running out of time, but I felt like, the Kickstarter was almost a year ago. I've got all these people that I've got to get WrapRabbits to.
Yeah.
And so it was put up or shut up time. Mm-hmm. So I made a decision on which one was the best out of all of them. Which one could I proceed with? And then it took 3 months from that point. So it was like, I think total 10 months from the end of the Kickstarter before I could actually send anything to anybody.
Yeah.
And so it was a total of 3 years, before I finally got, from when I created this guy right here,
sure,
to when I got these shipped to people. And I started shipping them October 2025.
Do you think you could do it faster with your next invention idea?
Well, definitely. And I'll tell you why, is because my next invention idea is going to be a bigger version of this.
Perfect. Okay.
And because I've had all these other ideas too. Oh, I'm going to do all all these other products, which I will eventually get to, but everyone's asking for bigger versions of this. So I'm going to go with what the customer wants.
Of course. There's your market research. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the beauty that starts to unfold as we become inventors. And that's why I tell people, slow down with your other invention ideas, because until you give one a lot of dignity and time and testing, you don't know where that one will go. And maybe you just want to turn and burn and invent. Well, I mean, maybe you can speak to that. Is there a path for people who just want to turn and burn and invent? I'm anti-licensing, but I don't want to be. I really, honestly, I'm starting to dislike that about myself. I want to tell good licensing stories. I just haven't run into any. And
I'll tell you firsthand why I think licensing is not a good idea is because the amount of time I've spent on WrapRabbits right now is probably about the same amount of time and effort I would have spent in trying to license them. And on top of that, you do have a time limit as far as the patent process. So you've got a year from first public disclosure, and my public disclosure was the Kickstarter. So I had to have the non-provisional filed, and if I had to, and that costs money. So if you have all these different licensing ideas and you want to push them out there, why would you wait for someone else or why would you work to have someone else do it when you could get pennies on the dollar for your idea when you can actually just build it and sell it yourself?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot more cost to it with the molds. I mean, that was thousands and thousands of dollars for the molds. And I did not have the cash for that, but thanks to your conversation with Brooke on the episode with the Oinker. Yeah. She mentioned the credit card, and I'm not going to say what credit card company it was, but my bank had one that was 0% interest for 23 months, and it financed the whole thing. And if I went with a business loan, it would have been tons of paperwork. And anyway, it was way easier to just do the credit card. And so there is more cost to it, but if you actually believe in your idea and you think it's worth selling, then I think this is the way to go versus licensing. Yeah,
I mean, I think people see it as a really huge deal, but what you have to remember is my business, your business, Marcus's business, pretty much everybody who's been on the show, it is almost as simple as build it and sell it. Now that will get you to the $1 million in revenue mark in a couple of years, because we can sell on Shopify, we can sell on Amazon, we can handle small orders and small shipments and small inventory out of our garage or our home office, whatever the case is. So you can have a very viable business that can take you out of your day job with a one-man show, or maybe with your girlfriend helping you, or a buddy, or nobody. I've seen people run one-man show type of businesses up to $10 million. It can happen. You got to love to work, but it can happen. But you said it, like, build it and sell it. That's an oversimplification, but it's kind of not, because you're just listing the thing on Shopify. You're just sending 100 units to Amazon and letting them populate FBA and letting them go.
Yeah, and I don't want to say it's easy to do, but it's way easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And a huge inspiration for me was this guy it was a YouTube clip of this guy and he said how easy it is to sell stuff on Amazon. And somebody commented saying, "You're full of crap." And then he was like, he said, "Okay, I'm going to do it." And he packaged up sugar and sold it as hummingbird food. Huh. So he sells tons of these when people can just go to the store and get sugar. So he's mailing sugar to
remarketing
people,
sugar.
Yes, as hummingbird food. Or maybe it's like sugar water. But either way, now he's got this business. He didn't know he was going to have a business, that he just wanted to prove a point.
Yeah.
And so there's a market for things out there. And I'm shipping to Hawaii, Wisconsin, Texas, Nashville. That one I'm really proud of, because when I was in Nashville, I saw all these bands lugging all their cords and their equipment around. And I thought, man, these WrapRabbits can really help this town. And now I'm shipping a bunch there, which is awesome.
That's great. So you're identifying music communities via your shipments and your sales.
Yeah.
We identified that Texas loves torque straps.
Oh, sure.
I mean, plenty of pickup trucks there, so it made sense.
Yeah.
You mentioned in the discovery call that you wanted to talk about things you thought were important that weren't, or was it things you thought were easy but weren't?
Well, it was things that just assumptions I made.
Assumptions.
Yeah, right. I thought things were going to go one way, and they completely went another.
Okay.
One of them was, I'll start with this one. One of them was price. When I first started, I wanted to give it away. And then the next thing was I want to make it so cheap that everybody can get one. Because and
I've done it too. We all do it.
Here's the problem with that is if there's no money in it for you to do, then it's just tons and tons of work for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to recoup shipping costs. You have to recoup cost of goods. You have to recoup the mold. I mean, these things are incredibly expensive. So I'm selling them for more. It's more expensive than I thought I would. But then at the same time, my band in 1 month spent $5,000 on equipment.
Yeah.
And one of those things was $500 on microphone stands. We had microphone stands, but we bought the new ones because you can put them together in seconds versus like a minute. Like the old ones had these circular bases where you spun them on, right? And our band has to use the small ones. We can't use the tripod because they take up too much room when we play really small places. So these new ones, you put the stand in, turn it, you're done.
Nice.
And we spent $500 on that because it made things easier, faster, and that's exactly what the WrapRabbits do. So if a band is gigging regularly, this is the kind of thing that would just save so much time, frustration, and I wasn't thinking about it like that. It took me a while to come to terms with the fact that I would have to sell it for way more than I thought I would, but that was because that was a personal thing. And years ago, someone I worked with, he was a salesman, and he sold hearing aids. And one of the things he said was that you should never you should never assume someone's propensity for purchasing.
Right.
Or he said it something like that. And what it means is that people don't assume they'll spend a certain amount because you will.
No, you're right.
Right.
He's right.
Yeah.
Was there any other assumptions or things that were more important or less important?
Yeah. This is kind of a funny one. So I was thinking about how I would buy something, not how other people would buy something. And I thought, almost everybody is going to buy one, right? So I bought I had 1,000 shipped to me. That was my first shipment, and I boxed up 200 of these as single units to send to Amazon. I had another product that I made almost kind of like an afterthought, and I had shipped all of them to FBA because I was tired of shipping them. And so I knew how to do it. I boxed all these single units up, and thankfully I never sent them to Amazon because I had to undo everything I did with all my individual packaging. And I had these bags that I put them in, bags that actually Linda from Happy Toilet Cleaner, she sent them to. I said, hey, does anybody know what bags to use on the Discord? And she chimed in, and then she sent me some bags, and then they fit perfect. So I ordered them, and I printed up labels, stuck them on there, and with my UPCs, and then I had maybe 5 single unit orders.
Oh,
it was all 9 packs and 6 packs, and 3 packs too, but it was mostly 9 packs. So I had to undo all the work I did and put them in boxes for 9 packs.
Right.
Which is a great problem to have, but still I lost a lot of time and tens of dollars.
Yeah. It's why the most common piece of advice I give inventors is, let's wait on that one because we need to let a little more information unfold before we waste time and money.
Yeah.
And it's aggravating because this is such a hurry up and wait game.
Right.
But you going into your next invention, you're going to know, I'm just going to budget a little bit of time to packaging singles, maybe 10, 15 units and then try it because we don't know how the audience is going to react. So yeah, my biggest piece of advice is, yes, hustle and keep pushing, but on a lot of steps, don't assume you know how people are going to buy this stuff. Why do you think people buy 9-packs rather than singles, knowing what you know? Because you were so sure about singles, and now you have the data to say it's 9-packs. Why do you think that is?
Because bands have tons of cables.
So now you're learning that it wasn't just some guy at home thinking, I'll try one and then see how it works at home and go from there. You're finding that it's a no-brainer decision purchase for bands.
Yeah.
Or anybody in production.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There could be a couple of factors. One is that these are about $25 for a single unit, and people don't have just one cable. If they have just one cable, then that's not going to be very frustrating if it knots, you know. But I've had people purchase 3-packs, and then they'll purchase 2 9-packs. So they did test it out, but they spent more to do that.
Yeah.
And yeah. So,
well, I think one of my favorite consultations with you was around the 9-pack.
Oh,
and I felt like a rock star that day because you came to me and Grant, I got a big problem, man. This is a big one. This is a doozy. And I'm like, you're even kind of scaring me in that moment because most of the time new inventors come to me with a problem. It's kind of like, yeah, that's actually a small problem, and here's the solution. You kind of preempted it, and we thought it was a big issue, but basically you had a problem with the size of your 9-pack bag.
yeah.
So talk to me about that problem and then the conversation that you and I had about it.
Right. So, we talked a lot. So about this issue. So basically what happened was the bag came in and it was perfect for this one right here, which was the prototype. But during the process of getting samples sent back and forth, I had to adjust something which made this one wider, which I forgot about.
How much wider? Like a couple millimeters?
It's 1 millimeter.
1 millimeter.
1 millimeter, yeah, per. But we got 9 of them. That's 9 millimeters. So that instead of being this big, it's like this big. And the bag was made for the smaller ones. And so it comes in, and I'm thinking everything's great. At some point, I put 9 in a bag. Thankfully, I did that because, and it was ones that I was using for my band. And I was like, oh my God, they don't fit.
And it wasn't like you couldn't cram them in; they just didn't fit.
They did not fit.
Clearly not.
I tried to cram them in; it would have just crushed one.
Yeah.
And then I called you up. I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. I've got 500 bags. And you're like, no, it's fine. So then I changed the website to say it's designed for 8, and the 9th is a bonus.
Yeah.
WrapRabbit, right? And I also made that bonus one the opposite color. So I've got 2 colors, which solve the problem of the bag, because the bag is not made for 9, it's made for 8, and you get an extra one. And then the other thing it does is it lets people have both colors so they can see them both and say, oh, I like this one better. My next order is going to be this color. And they can also see, like, if a black cable is against this, it may not be as easy to see. Whereas the black one it's easier to see the cord on the blue, but the black one you don't see on stage, right? So there's a reason for both of them, and you get them both in the person's hand, and they can actually make that decision themselves because you can't see it on a computer screen.
Yeah, no. So it was a happy accident.
Well, here's also the best part is I use 4 bags of WrapRabbits in my band.
4 8-pack bags.
4 9-pack bags.
9-pack
and I'll
bags.
tell you why is because after a couple of months of using them, they stretch out and you can fit 9.
I can picture that guy who orders the 8-pack with the bonus WrapRabbit, and after a couple months, all of a sudden 9 fit in there, and he's thinking, this dumb idiot, he mismeasured this bag. That's what really happened. That's so funny, but who cares? You know what I mean? Like, you thought you had a $3,000 mistake on your hands.
I did, yeah.
And I've been there, and sometimes it's true, but the majority of the time, it's an opportunity to pivot or just make a marketing change. Just like your buddy was selling sugar to people, rebranding it.
Right.
The key is to mitigate loss. So speaking of mitigating loss, do you feel like, because I know the answer for me is yes, I lost a lot of money in this process. Do you feel like you lost a lot of money in this process? I mean, obviously you'll get it back and you already probably have, but in those initial 3 years where your wife is like, what the F are you doing? And you're like, what the F am I doing? Did you have moments where you just piss money out the window, or do you think you were pretty lean about it?
I had moments where I thought I was pissing money out the window, but in the grand scheme, no. The tagline of your podcast is "We took the punches, so you don't have to." Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. So I haven't taken too many punches because of you, and that's I can't thank you enough for that. Like everything that you've done with the podcast, I felt like you were speaking like right to me, and I just so thankfully it all happened very, very well. The one thing I thought I was pissing money away on was I bought 4 3D printers.
Oh, I had forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I thought it was the craziest thing. And so my wife was a little bit concerned when these giant boxes just show up.
And you're explaining to her, these get really hot. They kind of stink. So I'm going to keep them here. And here's some ventilation. And she's like, oh, my God.
Yeah. She was rolling her eyes quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. And thankfully, the first week of sales, after 3 years of this, because I've had those 3D printers for years now, and finally, when the sales start rolling in, it kind of is validation,
Well, I think if the biggest thing you pissed away money on was 4 3D printers, you're doing pretty damn good. Some people might have pissed away 30 grand on bad molds. But you were really diligent with your engineering and all that. And that's another thing I want to kind of shout out.
I want to tell you about the mold. I thought I did piss away all that money on the mold, because when I got this in from the manufacturer, the actual production model, it didn't spin.
Right.
And I took a couple of days, I was emotionless.
Grieving. Yeah.
Grieving.
You
Yeah,
get
basically.
To grieve. There is manufacturing grieving times in this journey. I've had them. Yes.
Yeah.
So you took 3 days to grieve, then what?
And then I just buckled down and figured it out. I spent quite a bit of money on different things that could have helped it spin, and because that was the original thing with the samples, is they didn't spin as good as I wanted them to. And then when I got these back, they didn't spin at all. And then I figured it out, and now it spins better than I could have hoped. But when I first got them, I thought I just, like, when you had that tax bill for $1,500, you're like, oh my God, what did I do? And I'm thinking, what did I do? I've got this credit card with all this money, and I've got all this product. Now I have to email all the people from Kickstarter and tell them that all the money they put into it is basically, whatever, gone. And there was no saving the product. And it took me a few days, and just working through the night. I'd work through the night anyway. But I had to figure it out. And thank God I did, because now it couldn't be any better to me. This is exactly what I wanted, and that's what I got.
And have you started getting reviews on your product yet, via Amazon and Shopify?
No, and I haven't gotten. Well, I've gotten products on my other product, which is an audiometer button for hearing tests,
right?
But only because I did Vine.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got a bunch of reviews from Vine from people that have no idea what the thing is for.
Is that right? Yeah. But they still left 5 stars, and did they say like good build quality and junk like that, or?
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, the button clicks well. Like, well, so once I do Vine with these, I think I'll get some reviews, but I'm not getting any reviews for these yet. Even though there's that thing you can select in Amazon where it says ask for a review.
Yeah,
it doesn't do anything.
No.
So I'm going to lean into Vine once I get my next order. So I got 1,000 the first time, and I've got like 50 left right now. Hopefully they'll sell within the next week or so, but I'm going to be without product for a good month. When I get my next order, I'm ordering 2,000 this time. I'm going to send 30 to Vine.
Okay.
And that will hopefully get to people that will understand what it is.
Okay. So what's your plans for WrapRabbit? I mean, you're selling on Amazon right now. It's going pretty well. It's available on the website, but I'm assuming it's mostly Amazon where you're getting your stuff.
No, it's mostly...
Oh, that's right. You're running good meta ads.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's skip that because we're already at 48 minutes, believe it or not.
Oh, geez.
Flies, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
What's your plans for WrapRabbit? Are you exploring brick and mortar retail distribution, or are you still in the scaling and discovering phase? What are your thoughts?
F retail. That was what you did on one of the episodes.
I know. And once again, my opinions change.
Sure, yeah, but you've got to, like, one of the other things you said was that don't even think about it until you're 5 years in. And you look at Shark Tank and all these people are like, yeah, we want to get into retail. And I'm thinking they need all that money so that they can hope to get into retail.
Yeah, no guarantee.
It's not a guarantee. And then on top of that, you've got another boss. Like, I'm not doing these because I want a boss. I don't like my bosses.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh boy. Luckily, it's not a very popular show.
No, but I don't want people telling me what to do. The only people I want telling me what to do are the IRS.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. I don't want them. I don't want stores to say, hey, I want displays. I want all this stuff. I was talking to one person, and it was not a two-way street. It was him domineering and telling me what he wanted from me, and I'm like, I don't want that.
And that's the big client problem. Like, I'm learning there's a lot of different avenues with retail. And the big client issue is, yes, they're going to be your boss. They're going to be a big bitch, and they're going to have you scared, because if they pull out, there goes 50% of your revenue. So ideally, you want to kind of really start off with a lot of smaller shops, maybe small chains, or maybe a small regional store that has 5, 15, 20 stores. And those people, they're abundant, but rarely are they in the buying mode. But they are in the buying mode if they're at a trade show. So the recommendation I give to people at this stage is plan a trade show tour, plan to do some trade shows in 2026, and position your product to be very friendly to be purchased by that medium-sized buyer. Somebody who has 5 stores and he needs something new to sit on the counter or next to the guitars or next to the amps or what have you. Because those partnerships, they are fruitful, and they will be a big chunk of your money. And e-commerce will be good. Your product will get you to $1 million in revenue in e-commerce. Maybe more, probably more. But I think kind of minimum, like with hustle, good social media, meta ads, and a strong Amazon initiative, getting those reviews, taking advantage of the Prime Day deals and all these things, they really add up during the year. You'll get to $1 million in sales, but what's going to get you to like 2, 3, and 5 million is going to be those partnerships and those medium-sized clients. And again, that you want that at volume. You don't want one giant one, because then you're going to be pissing your pants and you're going to turn it pink because some asshole told you to. And then when he pulls out, you're stuck with 10,000 pink units.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't want to jump through hula hoops, but you do have to kind of play the game. And we talked about that. I kind of had to eat humble pie because F retail. Well, guess what? I'm stuck at like 1.4, 1.7 million in revenue, which is fine. It pays me a fair salary.
But if you want to get to the next level, you have to look at that.
Yeah, that's what it is. What got you to 1 million is not what's going to get you to 5. It's the biggest lesson I've learned in here.
Well, I see retail as very, very far from where I am right now. Like I just started, so
that's fair.
Like I kind of want to get the low hanging fruit, as you had said before about about online because it's so easy to talk to the customer, so easy to get to the customer and speak right to them with meta ads, if you have some videos that go viral, that goes directly to them. And retail is just tons of work that I don't have time for. I've still got a day job, so my initial goals right now are just to get my sales to a point where I can leave my day job.
Sure.
I've got a plan for that. And you actually earlier today were talking about trade shows, and I think that would be that's actually now part of my plans for this year.
Mm-hmm. What's your plan to quit your day job?
I did the math on these, and I have to 5x my sales.
Okay.
To at that point, I would have to quit my day job because of the time it takes to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I can do that with the meta ads as is, just scaling them up. I don't know. But if I can tell you that my social media stuff is not very good right now because I don't have time to do it. With my band, I spend tons of time doing that, editing videos for that, learning songs for that. And it's, I don't have that much time at night. That's why I get like 3 hours of sleep at night.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. I got to 5x my sales.
Basically, yeah.
And then that will free up a lot more of your time for your band, which is what you love to do, and WrapRabbit, which is also what you love to do, and less of what you don't want to do. And hopefully more than 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Please, man. I've been there. It's not something most people can sustain for more than 6 months, a year, but it sounds like you've made it kind of a regular thing.
I've been doing this for 20 years.
Well, good for you. I mean, that's why you get so much shit done because, everything that we've preached about, like I said, you've done it and you've taken it to the next level, and it shows. And that's the high achievers in this world. They do what you're doing, and it's not for everybody. Not everybody can function like that, but no one has time. You got kids, you got a wife, you got a career, you got a band. You don't have time. You create time.
Right.
Time doesn't just appear out of nowhere. And that goes for everybody. We run into a lot of excuse-generating machines, and I don't really want to hear it. A lot of us have put ourselves in a position where we've exiled time from our life, and sometimes it's things as silly as buying a camper van 4 years ago and refusing to get rid of it. So you're trying to go camping every weekend. Well, guess what? If you're on this journey and on this path, you're either going to have to sacrifice the camper or your sleep. Pick one of the two. So I encourage people, start thinking about your future. If you're going to invest the next 3 years of your life to bringing a product to market, what are some things you don't really need right now? What are some things you can put on pause and then rebuy later? Or a hobby you can cancel and then re-engage later? Or maybe just a regimen, a routine. Maybe it's drinking. Maybe for some people, just not drinking wine after 6 o'clock at night could turn those last 4 hours of the night into productive hours. That can be the difference between you changing your career and your life or not. So be willing to sacrifice. All right. So do you have any parting words of wisdom for our listeners before we wrap up?
I do, actually. And it's actually, once again, it's your words. Episode 32, you were talking to Cliff Lee, and you said, out of all the episodes, this is the one that resonated with me the most. It was, this world is made for you to succeed in it. And I brought that up to you on one of our
consults.
One of our consults, and you're like, really? I said that? I'm like, yeah.
Sounds like some bullshit.
And that's the best way I could sum it up, is that if you put the effort into it, if you put the time and energy into it, and it's a product that you have validated. I have to stress that.
Yeah.
If it's a product that you have validated and people like it and they want it, and you put the work and the effort into it, then you will succeed.
Right. No, I just want to underscore that line, because I do remember saying that, and I do think it's true. And I see it all the time. You see foreigners do this a lot. They come into this country, and for the first time ever, they're presented a clear guide to success. And that's why so many foreigners are so damn successful in this country, because America has all the laws, all the rules, and everything laid out clear as day. The only thing that's tricky is the networking and connections. But it's all there for you to succeed. You want to open a business? There's a step-by-step guide somewhere. And now we have AI, so it's like, forget it, dude. It's like, if you can't figure it out now, fold up your toys and go home. So take advantage of the fact that all these tools, getting patents, getting financing, launching an Amazon store, launching a Shopify store, learning how to run meta campaigns, everything, the laws and legalities around your taxes, getting into a brick and mortar, building a warehouse, building a facility. This world is designed for you to do that. Everyone agrees, we all want that for you. So take advantage of it, man. Nobody's against you in this. You are your own biggest enemy. And yeah, your friends, they don't want to see you succeed. Well, that's because they're terrified to watch you succeed while they're sitting at home eating potato chips. But it's very, very, very tangible. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Well, I would also add that watching every single one of your episodes that was the guidebook for me. And I mean, this is proof of that.
Yeah.
So,
and I want to take a minute to shout out. I mean, you know a lot about marketing now, and it's funny because a lot of people come on the show and they think, well, you even said it, like, I want to wait till the product's ready and all that. And, but our show is other inventors. There might be a few who are interested in buying a torque strap. That's not what this is about.
I bought 12 of them.
Well, okay. So this was a good investment. You paid for this unit. Thank you, buddy. But yeah, I tell people where they can buy WrapRabbit
oh yeah, where you can buy.
Well, yeah,
yeah, WrapRabbit.com.
WRAP.
Yeah.
Yep.
WRAPRabbit.com. And also Amazon. It's on Amazon.
Yeah. To help people understand, because I never gave you a chance to really pitch it properly, but when you wrap up these XLR cables over your arm, you ruin them. You mentioned that earlier. He found a solution to not only keep them safe, but to make the process 10 times faster. And weekly I do podcasts, or I try to anyway. And I've been traveling a lot lately, doing a lot of different shoots. And I've taken these things to Texas. I've taken them to Jacksonville, done a lot of run and gun setups. And when I pull out these WrapRabbits, I undo the end and I pull out the coil, zing! Everybody stops and says, what the F is that thing? Let me see that. How does that work? And before I know it, we got another sale for Eddie over here. So so check out WrapRabbit.com. Check them out on Amazon, however you like to buy. And here he is. He's doing a little demo for us.
Yeah,
I love that. When you teach people to use it, you show them once, and they're just like, oh, my God, what a no-brainer. There we go. He didn't even get out of his chair, and he just wrapped up a 20-foot cable, everybody.
And it's really made for 30 feet. But, yeah.
That's awesome.
And then,
boom, you're off to the races.
Yep, that's it.
Sweet, man. All right, Eddie. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks, everybody, for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. If you are listening, be sure to like and follow the show on whatever platform you may be on. And remember, Eddie has taken the punches so that you don't have to. We'll see you guys on the next one.